talk about the bigger picture. Let's talk about how we be ballin', playing with the Wizards. Let's talk about the Nats and how they always got good pictures. Let's talk about the Cats who rescue, turn them boys to winners. Injuries and updates, oh yeah. To the opponent, we stand toe to toe, yeah. To the top, this podcast gonna go, yeah. I think it's something you should know, yeah.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to episode 75 of Ref the District. I'm Nathan Perry, and that up there is Stoner and Trev, and we're excited to bring you some great content here again. If you're one of our lucky ones watching us live, we always appreciate your support. We stream live every Wednesday on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at 7:30. If you're here on our YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe to our channel and like our video. Of course, if you're catching the rewatch, that's cool too. Just make sure you take care of those things. And if you are one of our dedicated audio listeners, we really love you. Make sure that you have, selected the auto download feature. And if you're on Apple, make sure that you leave us a review. That helps other people find us and helps us grow the channel and continue bringing the best content here in DC. Now, we got a show for you, and it is going to be grab bag again on the cool down. The game is going to be Terry McLaurin was re-signed this week. Who's going to be next? That's our question for the game, and we're looking forward to getting some of that input from our dedicated live listeners here on YouTube as well. And then in the warm-up, it was a big day. I know we like to keep the flagship program here Commanders-centric, but it was a pretty big day for the Washington Wizards. So we're going to warm up with them. There was some content for the Commanders we'll kind of close the warm-up on. So we appreciate you sticking around for that. We are sponsored by Pacers Running. For every run, they've got you taken care of. More on them later. We also have a partnership with DC Sports King. Make sure you are subscribed to DC Sports King. Check them out on all their channels. We are now providing 2-minute takes with DC Sports King. Make sure that they have a newsletter, and we're providing content to go with their blogs. Keep an eye out for that future collaboration. And Trev, there's one more.
One more.
Tell us about this additional sponsor that I don't have a proper logo for right now, but will next week. But they're opening.
Give him the drum roll. Give him that terrible drum roll.
I'm bringing Skybar back. That's right. I am bringing Skybar back. For those who didn't know, I had opened a bar in Lexington earlier this year around February, March. Didn't pan out with the partnership. Restructured my contract. The new regime brought a new regime in, and it's coming back. We are reopening this holiday weekend, starting Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'm back, better than ever, and I could not wait. So,
an official part-time owner of Skybar. We're very proud. Yes. We love our man Trev, and we appreciate him taking the time out of his busy day as a business owner to talk some sports with us. Congratulations. Check him out in person at Lexington. Mention Ref the District. And if he gives you a free drink, or if he doesn't give you a free drink, you can contact Stoner and I. We'll make sure we'll cover it down.
Or EP too, right?
Or EP. We'll cover it down for you in the long term. Shout out to those already in the chat here. We got Dougford, John, Gus Bus, Kurt Smith, and Uptown Dre all in the chat. We appreciate you coming in. We'll be talking all that goodness with the Commanders, in our opinion, up in the game. But right now, we have somebody here, Gus Bus, who says it was a horrible day for the Wizards. Do you agree with that, Stoner? You think it was a bad day? I'm thinking Gus Bus is going to miss KCP.
Yeah, a bad day? It's definitely not a bad day. Did they upgrade? I think they probably upgraded a little bit. The two guys that they got, I think the problem or the perception that a lot of people have about the two guys, Will Barton and Monte Morris, nobody knows who they are because they play out in Denver.
Yeah.
Right. So unless you're a real NBA, you're a hoop head, then you really don't know who they are because you don't get to see Denver. But 3 or 4 times a year when they play your team out here on the East Coast. So I think that's why a lot of people don't like them. They're an obvious upgrade to KCP and Ish Smith. Whether or not that puts them over the top, I mean, that's obviously not going to happen. But then the Brad Beal news, of course, is that he opted out. It's a formality. He has to do that before he can sign the $250.9 million that he's going to be able to sign for. So today, what did he say specifically? What did he say?
It was a bad day.
It was a horrible day.
Gus said it was a horrible day for the Wiz.
Yeah, definitely not a horrible day.
Part of it is they have the smallest backcourt in the league, where backcourts are starting to get big.
They had
right?
Ish Smith and Raul Neto, who were both barely 6 feet tall, and all teams did was run their offense to get those guys into a defensive matchup that they could exploit. So they just got bigger and they got more defensive.
No,
so those two guys are way, way better defenders than Ish Smith and Raul Neto.
Between those two, but not KCP, right? KCP's the best defender of the four.
And that's
you're
I'm
right.
gonna chime in on that now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chime in on that note. I think that they did upgrade on the depth that they were lacking. They do bring nice 3-point shooting, which Bradley Beal and others mentioned that they needed to add in this offseason with some more shooting, and they do bring that. But they are losing a huge defensive player in KCP.
Right.
And I don't know if those two will fill that void because they've already played with Wes Unseld in Denver before he came to Washington. And they weren't really
so he knows
known for their defense. He knows them, but
Right.
I don't know if we got better defensively, but we definitely got better offensively with those two. So I don't think it's a horrible day. It's just an upgrade from
And
what
KCP plays the same position as Beal, Johnny Davis, who they just drafted, right?
Yeah.
And even, if Kuzma plays the
Kispert.
coup,
Kuzma.
right?
Mhm.
Right? So he plays the same position as those guys. Now, of course, Monte Morris and Will Barton, they kind of play the same position too. Monte's a point guard, but Will Barton's a shooting guard. So they all kind of play the same position. But I think to get Monte Morris, then they had to bring Will Barton along and they had to give up KCP for all that trade to work. So really you have to look at it as you upgraded at the position you desperately needed, which is point guard, and maybe you downgraded just a touch in your backup shooting guard.
Now, do you think Monte Morris is going to start the season as the point guard, or is there going to be another one? Obviously, there's some links to a guy down there in Miami that I know neither one of you like.
Victor Oladipo? No.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think so because if Bradley re-signs, which we'll get to in a second, with that Supermax, then Tommy and everybody else has already come out saying that he can run the 1 or the 2. You got Johnny Davis. Johnny Davis can probably run the 1 a little bit too as well. You can mix and match those and have Monte come in as a backup for probably Johnny Davis, in my opinion, to get that chemistry with Bradley Beal too as well. But no, I don't see him as a starting point guard. And same with Will Barton. He'll come relieve Bradley Beal or Kuzma, like he did in Denver. So
the way they're constructed right now, Monte Morris is your starting point guard.
Yeah, right now.
That, the way they're constructed
okay.
right now.
So like Monte, Beal, Johnny Davis, Porzingis, and Kuzma.
No. Well, Kuzma, Porzingis, and
Johnny
Rui.
Davis. You're not going to start
I don't think Johnny
Davis
is going to start right away.
You think
he's going to be a contributor. I don't think he's going to.
Maybe 6th man of the year? Maybe
Well, let's
that
not
might be
crazy.
asking
We all wanted
a little,
Jamin
little
Davis
much.
to be the rookie of the year, but right before that.
Asking a little much out of Johnny Davis right now. Now, Trav, you brought up Beal re-signing, right? Like that's a big part of today as well. Was Beal opted out, which he needs to be able to sign the Supermax deal.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, what does this trade do for him? Is this more enticing to stay with the Wizards, or is it, as Stoner likes to remind everybody, it's all about the money?
Of course.
So how long does he have until he has to make that decision?
I don't know the exact dates, but he can't officially make that decision until either Thursday or Friday when the new league year starts, which is I think it's July 1st. He had to make the decision before the end of the new year.
I think
or end of the previous year, and then now the new year starts, I believe, Friday.
I think this move helps a little bit, but I think they still need to do something else, maybe a little bit bigger of a splash, in order to have him commit to 5 years, 250. Because if he commits now, not knowing what else they're planning on doing in free agency, because free agency just started and Washington's already made a move, but that just can't be the last one, because we got to figure out the bigs, right? Thomas Bryant, Porzingis, Rui, Daniel Gafford. We got to figure out something there. Like, are we releasing and getting somebody else, sign trades? Or like, I think there's got to be another big splash move to really have Bradley Beal resign and commit to us. But
Gus Bus, you're not alone on that. For our audio listeners, Gus Bus says, "I want to get rid of Beal." Well, now that he's opted out of his contract, unless you're signing him to a supermax and trading him away, I just don't see that happening. Another option is kind of taken away from the Wizards today.
Yeah,
DeJounte Murray was traded to the Hawks for Danila and 3 firsts, as noted here by Uptown Dre in our chat.
Maybe we had
Do
to
you
give
think
up.
Wizards could have matched that? I mean, it seems like
They could have
beaten that.
We would have to give up more than KCP and Ish Smith for Devontae Murray, however you say his name.
Why?
So that J messes me up.
It's
Why?
It's DeJounte.
DeJounte Murray?
Yeah.
Well, because
they only gave up Gallinari, an aging vet, and 3 first-round
really
picks.
Bad. Yeah, 3 first-round picks. That's it. Just 3
First-round
first-round picks. That's all.
Are garbage, especially if it's Atlanta's 3 first-round picks. So you're going to get
Trae Young is garbage.
pick in the 20th.
John Collins is garbage.
No, I'm talking about the picks that the Falcons, the Hawks are going to have.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to be a good team. So you're going to get late first-round picks. Those are throwaway.
They might not be a good team. I mean, DeJounte Murray is a nice ad, but
DeJounte Murray is a fabulous ad.
Yeah, but who's their depth? Like, you can't just win with a starting 5.
I know, but they only gave up Gallinari. They still have all those guys. They still have
now.
Right.
It ain't over.
Yeah, this is an important factor. This is actually what I'm looking up here from our man GB. We didn't have control over our first rounders, though. We need a creative GM to get that first rounder next year back from the Knicks. So
I hate first round. I hate draft picks. I hate trading for draft picks because you never know where they are and you never know how they're going to turn out. We got to stop wanting all these draft picks. OKC, woo! Look at you with all those draft picks. Well, you're still the worst team in the league.
Hold on. They just don't know how to draft right. That's probably the problem.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, they only drafted three MVPs, but sure, they don't know how to draft. They've fallen off. They haven't hit, and that's why Stoner really hates the draft picks, right? Because it's a lottery. I mean, that's what we literally call it as an NBA.
They're not as valuable as NFL draft picks.
They're not, right? You know, this is something we talked about in our live stream. You only get, the first 4 or 5 picks in a draft seem like those might be your superstars.
And then
after that, it's really a crapshoot, and you just don't know. The NFL has legit talent in the first round, probably all the way through 20, and then you can find gems all throughout it, which is not really the case with the NBA, which is interesting. The NFL is pulling from just the United States, right? I mean, there's obviously the international players who come in there. The NBA pulls from all over the world, and you can only get maybe 4 to 5 quality stars a year out of the draft. Yep. That's pretty insane to me. Back on the draft picks there. So Washington doesn't actually own a first-round draft pick until it looks like 2024 they do own one potentially. It's not listed properly on the site that I'm looking at. So I think it would have been hard for them to actually give up the 3 first.
Right. So maybe you have to, like Trev was saying, maybe you have to have like 2 players and 1 pick, 1 first rounder or 2 first rounders or something like that. I think they could have beaten that deal, but maybe not. I mean, you can say you can talk all you want about OKC and all these draft picks and all these young players and everything, but it's just like Philadelphia. Remember Philadelphia, the whole trust the process, and they had all those top 3 picks year after year after year. They were the worst team in the history of the NBA in that one particular year, and they were so bad for years. And they drafted all these top guys, and none of them panned out except for one, Embiid. And now that obviously is working out for them. They haven't won a championship.
Trust the process. Trust
But
the process.
Nerlens Noel that they drafted high, and
he just got dumped salary
Markel
by
Fultz that they drafted.
injuries.
Ben Simmons is a guy that all these
Question
guys that they stockpiled all these picks, and this is what they end up with. So go with known commodities and try to win with that.
Do you think Bradley Beal, does he have the choice like James Harden just did today, opted out and then for less money so they could bolster the roster? You think is that an option for Bradley Beal with this?
What, to come back to the Wizards for
He's
less
not coming
money?
back to the Wizards for less money.
No.
That's
They can
just not
bolster the
happening.
roster?
I think that they're probably at two very different points of their career right now. I think James Harden's had a rough couple of years and has kind of seen perhaps a decline, especially with some of the rule changes, and he's not allowed to kind of draw those fouls the same way. And I think that he's wanting to get that championship to solidify himself as one of the greatest players, right? Beal, I'm not calling him this, but there are a lot of people who say that he's just chasing the bag, right? He's staying. He's going to stay here for the money. Again, I'm not saying I'm one of those.
I know
but a lot of people are. But there's a lot of that clip of Mayweather who said he's the best at legalized gambling, and a lot of people are pointing that at Beal because he's going to get that payday of $250 million, and he probably he's not going to win a championship here unless there's some drastic changes to the Wizards roster.
No.
Well, I mean, probably
exactly
not.
right.
But you put the right guys around him, and you're going to be contenders in the East. They are. I'm sorry that a lot of people just don't trust all of these guys, but they are.
The last
going
time
to
they
be
were contenders in the East, you know who was the point guard with Bradley Beal and it didn't work out, and he's missed a year, now he's back. You know who it is?
John Wall.
They were fourth in the East.
Right.
When was the last time that
Was it
happened?
2017 season?
So how many pieces do we have to keep trying to put around Bradley Beal to get back to that? This is now what? You said it was 2016. This is 6 years now. He signs 5-year Supermax. That's another 5 years of figuring out who works with Bradley Beal the best. So how much longer are we going to
that's what teams do.
I was about to say that in the NBA, you do sign your superstar to a Supermax. Now, I think where Trev and I stand on this is we don't see Bradley Beal as a number one superstar.
No, bro, he is not.
He would be an amazing number two.
How many of those are there in the NBA?
A lot, and he's not mentioned in any of those on any of those lists.
There's not many. There's not that many. There are not that many guys who can carry a team to a championship without help.
You're right, but almost every team has that dog, has that leader, and Bradley Beal is not that, bro.
Yes, he is. Yes, I'm sorry.
No, he's not.
Yes,
he shows up to some games while he's hurt. Nah, dog. You don't see him, like you said in the last pod, you see him taking accountability and getting his kids' teams' faces for that. Why doesn't he do it to grown men when he's getting paid for that?
He does.
No, he doesn't.
He does. He does. He is absolutely that guy. He hasn't had the right pieces around him. And when he has had another superstar, they made it to the second round. I can count on one hand in the NBA on guys who don't need another superstar in order to win. Maybe 5. It's probably
that's what we're saying. So they need to bring another splash in, or else I don't think he's going to resign.
Oh, he's going to resign. Whether or not he's going to win.
Stoner's been dead on all these NBA takes.
He doesn't have to, bro.
Here's a I'm going to tie it into Commanders. Is we're going to have a whole video on this whole Wizard stuff. So we'll discuss that later. You can catch that video on our YouTube channel.
Very good.
I'm going to tie it back into the Wizards here. Right. Not the Wizards, but I'm going to tie it back into the Commanders. Bradley Beal is likely to sign this $250 million Supermax deal. Great money. Obviously, the NBA has a lot of differences from the NFL. Terry McLaurin just signed a 3-year, $71 million which puts him in the top 10 range of being paid wide receivers. I think Spo Track has him at number 7. A lot of people reporting as the 5th highest paid receiver. Wherever he's at within there, that's at least the top 25%. Is Bradley Beal a top 25% player in the NBA?
No.
Yes, he top 25%.
Yes,
100 billion%. He's in that category.
Nope.
So that would there's 30 leagues in the NBA. Nope. That what? Can someone do the math for me real quick because my brain's not working. I had a long day, which is what I'm eating here. 30 teams in the NBA.
30 teams in the NBA. What? 15 guys on a roster.
Public math.
So I can't do that. 30 times 10 is 300. So 450, right? So there's 450 players. 25% of that is approximately 112, 110 or whatever. He's not an 110th best player in the NBA. You're insane, Trev. You're insane that he's not a top 100.
You know who are? The people who make the playoffs. That's who are.
And he has. They did 2 seasons ago. They did 4 seasons ago, 5 seasons ago, 7 seasons ago. When he has the right talent around him, he can help bring this team. Can he carry this team? No, but again, there's only like 5 guys who can carry a team without other superstars.
He's just not a super max player. He's not.
I think the NBA has declared that he is because you can only give supermax to certain players.
What?
Yeah.
Bradley Beal's probably going to get it. Again, we'll talk about that in a whole separate video. Definitely love the discussion for the warm-up. Real quick, just some more Commanders news before we get to the real content here for the game. It was dropped today on the Commanders website that they are going to have Washington Commanders announced celebrations, commemorations, and programming beginning on July 9, 2022 in honor of the team's 90th anniversary. If you're interested in this in the chat, please answer now because the 2 co-hosts of mine could care less about any of these things that are going on here. But they have some things there. And I think that just overall, I'm not going to read too much into it. But overall, it is at least a little nice that they again are trying to do things for the fans. They're trying to build up excitement because that's honestly something that is lacking. So we'll see. Now, there's not any excitement lacking on what happened yesterday. And as more and more news comes out, I think Commanders fans are being really excited. And we're going to answer the question, who's next now that Terry was paid? All that's coming up here on The Game. The Game is brought to you by Pacers Running Stores. Pacers has 6 stores in Northern Virginia and D.C. For the best running footwear, apparel, and gear, just stop by or schedule a virtual fitting with the best running experts in the business. Pacers Running exists to help as many people as possible through running. For every run, it's Pacers Running. You guys should see us behind the scenes there.
Oh, I wasn't even looking.
As these two, and welcome to the game for our audio listeners. Trev and Stoner are getting in their little sippy drinks, and I'm shoveling down dinner, trying to do as much as I can while we're off screen there. And so a lot of fun here on Ref the District. We had a whole video out on YouTube. Please go check that out. In fact, I'll probably bring it up here in a little bit just to get some of the contents there for the Terry McLaurin trade. If you're watching the chat right now, let us not trade. Sorry. People about to be in my mentions.
Right.
Over that one. No, after he was re-signed 3 years, $71 million extension, he got paid $28 million this year. He's still on his rookie deal, though, so he's only costing the team like $2 million. So there's a lot of opportunities there. Let us know what you think of the deal that he got, where it puts him in the line for the receivers, and what you expect him to get for this year receiving and touchdown yards, because we're going to bring those up, those stats up as well. But my question to you two is, who's next? What do we have to look forward to? Is Montez Sweat, as Uptown Dre is saying, or Billy came in and is saying Deron Payne's next?
Hmm.
Is there going to be a surprise? Maybe it's Cam Curl, fan favorite there.
Well, Curl's got 2 years left on his deal, and he was a 7th rounder, or was he 6th rounder? I think. So he's got 2 years left, and he's getting paid almost nothing, right?
Yeah.
He's getting paid like $1 million or whatever it is because he was a 6th rounder. I don't think they're going to re-sign Deron Payne. I just don't think so. They had the opportunity to give him the 5th-year option, and they declined. Is that right? Do I remember that? Am I rewriting history, or is that true? Right? So he's in the 4th year of his Nathan's mic's not working.
You're muted, Nate.
He's in the 4th year. He's a 1st rounder. They declined his 5th. Why would they give him a big bag of money if they could have had that 5th-year option? I just don't see them giving Payne a big John Allen type contract, and that's what he's going to probably command on the open market. So I don't think so.
Trev, you're agreeing with this? You don't think that Deron Payne's next? You think that it's
no? I think my opinion, it should, and I think it's Cole Holcomb. Out of the people we have named, Montez Sweat, Cam Curl, Deron Payne, Cole Holcomb, he's the most productive out of all of them. Montez Sweat, he's good when he's healthy, but he's missed a lot of time. Deron Payne is second to John Allen, so I mean, like Stoner said, we had a chance to do that. We didn't do it. Cam Curl, 2 years left. And then Cole Holcomb, he leads the team in tackles. He's had to be the number 1 linebacker in our depleted linebacking group for the past 2-3 years. Even we had Thomas Davis and all the vets in there, he was still overproducing, outproducing all of them. He's gotten better every year he's been with us. He doesn't pop out on the stat sheet like a Bobby Wagner or a Von Miller or Khalil Mack, but he's no slouch. And he's looking to take on the number 1 linebacker spot this year too. So stats are there if you need it. Cole Holcomb.
So
doesn't have to be crazy numbers, but just give him extension.
Command this podcast. Shout out to Steve and his crew there. They came on
Cole's
for the
5th year.
Yeah, it was Payne's 5th year.
You're talking about Payne. So it was 18. So 19 was Sweat. 20 was Chase Young, right? So it was 17 was Allen, 18 was Payne, 19 was Sweat, 20 was Chase Young.
So they picked up his 5th-year option, so he'll be a free agent next year after 5 years.
All right, sorry,
that's what you were rewriting history, and that's what I was trying to say when my mic was muted.
So
because no one wants to hear me munch on dinner.
Cole and Terry are the same draft class. Okay.
Holcomb's in the final year of his deal.
Extend him now.
Oh, you're right. So he is up for
do it now.
But are you really at risk at losing Cole Holcomb?
And even so, do you really care?
Because what do you mean? Do we really? Hold on. All right, no. Hold on. Number 1, yes, because other teams watch us, bro. If Cole Holcomb is our best linebacker, and they know, I mean, he picked off Dak Prescott, pick 6. They already know what he's about. People know Cole Holcomb, okay? Just think about it. It's the NFL. It's a business. But then, do we really care? Hell yeah, we care. And excuse my French. Because after him, who do we have? David, Miracle Whip, Jamin, we don't know Davis.
Jamin Davis. We have Jamin Davis. We just spent a 1st rounder on him.
We have Jamin, we don't know Davis. We have David Miracle Whip.
Yeah,
who's going to want to come, like, if we can't get a linebacker.
Holcomb, isn't he a Jag? Isn't he just another guy?
Oh, my God, bro.
You really think he's all that you're going to give him millions?
On a good defense, he's a great number 2 linebacker. Like, in the Rams, like that
100.
DJ Reader guy. But cool. But for us, bro, we don't have that. We don't have a number 1.
But you can get somebody is what I'm saying.
If that's so easy, then why haven't we gotten that in the past 3 or 4 years?
That's fair point. But we're talking about next year, right?
But
we're talking about next year.
We need one this year. We need one last year. We need one before that, and we will need one next year. So if it's that easy, we could have already done it. So he's a Jag on any other team. I agree with Command this podcast, but on our squad, he's not. So you want to really risk starting all over again, the drawing board, when you have a solid linebacker that he could pair if we get a vet next year or mid-season?
You and
Keep him,
Tanner,
man.
you and Tanner are on the same page there with
Extend it
Cole.
for cheap.
And
Yeah,
then you just tag Payne, who only costs you $14 million.
He ain't gonna demand that much
Why
money.
will he only cost $14 million if you tag him? That's the top 5 for defensive
For
tackles.
defensive tackles don't get paid that much. You got Aaron Donald and obviously you have Jonathan Allen's deal, but outside of that, defensive tackles aren't. It's not a prima donna position. It's not something. It's one of the reasons why Mathis in the second round was kind of confusing there, because you can get a run stuffing defensive tackle in the later rounds
right there. Mm-hmm.
But this is where they have some leverage now. They don't necessarily have to sign Daron Payne. I think here's the thing. I think the team likes Daron Payne. I think the team probably loves Cole Holcomb. So I can definitely see a world where this happens, where they re-sign Cole Holcomb. Now, I think that signing him long-term it's not going to happen right now, right? It's not going to happen before training camp. I think they want to see him in game action under that mic roll, because they've not actually used him in that capacity. So I do think that that's something, one, I think they're okay waiting with as well, because I'm kind of with Stoner here. Like, he's improved. Yes, absolutely. Aaron, who put on that message there, that Holcomb is getting better every year. We need Cole. He's a staple in his defense. He is definitely a part of this defense. This defense hasn't had anybody who's actually performing outside, I'd say, the man that we signed here, Jonathan Allen, as a staple. This defense can replace people. I think Cam Curl is obviously a great piece and is probably a staple to this, but I wouldn't necessarily put Cole Holcomb as a staple. I would like to see him in this mic role. I want to see him improve this year. Like, he's improved every year. And like I said, I know this defensive staff and Ron Rivera love him. So I wouldn't be surprised.
He's next.
But he is just a guy right now that you can wait to pay. Like, you don't have to. It's not like Terry who's holding out.
Next. Right.
But it is somebody who can move up on.
Point of contention.
Okay.
What does that mean,
tag Daron Payne, you're going to have to pay him $24 million.
Why? Is that what it is?
Because that's the average of the top 5 defensive tackles.
Who's your source?
Right now. My source is Spot Track. I mean, you call them Spo Track or Spo Rack.
SPOTRAC. Spo Track.
Spot Rack. I've always said Spot Rack, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Aaron Donald makes...
They're tracking.
Aaron Donald makes $31 million.
He's Aaron Donald.
DeForest Buckner, who's none of you Yahoos have ever heard of.
Are you kidding me? It's from UVA. Get out of here.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about other Yahoos. He's making $21 million.
Specific Yahoos.
Okay.
Chris Jones for the Chiefs is making 20.
So
Jonathan Allen, 18, and Vita Vea, 17,750. So about 18. You add all that up, you divide it by 5, and it comes out to $23.6 million. That's the average of the top 5 defensive tackles. So don't tell me you're going to sign Daron Payne or franchise him for $14 million. Not going to happen. So
there we go. Yes. Put that comment back out there one more time, please. I'm going to read that
from
one out
the command
loud.
of this podcast here. Cole is PFF's 41st linebacker, but Trev makes a point. He might be a Jag, but he's our Jag. If Jamin excels, it takes pressure off Cole. Then all you have to do is find another outside linebacker, not a middle linebacker, which is much more.
We get too attached to our Jags.
No, listen,
we really do.
Stoner,
Because,
hold on.
I mean, people's love for like Cam Sims.
There's a lot of love for Cam Sims.
I know.
He's such a Jag.
I know.
Right? Or
he's
a Dax
our
Milne.
fifth stop,
Or
dude.
DeAndre Carter.
Year. It's only hold on, time out. Time out. This is Dak's second year. You can't throw him in the mix like that. So remove Dax out of that.
You ready?
Remove
you ready,
Dax
Trev?
out of that.
You ready for a hot take?
Remove it. He's making the squad.
He might not make this team.
I bet you he will.
I'm just throwing it out there.
I bet you he will.
He's a Jag. You look up
He's a
Jag.
second-year player,
and
bro.
there's Dax
How
Milne.
is he a
Well,
Jag
hold on,
already?
hold on. Now I'm going to do a point of contention here because I think it was probably about 3 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer, that you two were arguing that Jamin Davis is a bust and it's not even his second year. You can't tell me.
I can. You want to know why?
I can't call Dax Milne a Jag.
Yes,
You're calling Jamin Davis a bust. You can't do that.
When did we pick Jamin Davis?
We picked him with the 19th pick.
And what pick was that for us?
1.
Okay, so he's not expected to be a Jag at that pick. Dax Milne could be expected to be a Jag because where he picked him, but it's his second year. So he has more of a pass at being a Jag, but he's not a Jag yet. We haven't given him a chance. We gave Jamin a chance all 16 games, 17 games. But
hey, look, Trev, I just Googled Jag. Dax Milne's picture.
we have the ability to screen share. I need to see that.
You are ridiculous.
I don't know, my computer's kind of wacky right now.
I'm going to call you out on that one. Steve in the chat here says Wes Schweitzer.
Sure.
Is the next one up. That's his lock.
No,
it's his last year.
Bye. You can go get that's a Jag, legitimately, because he's played guard, tackle.
He doesn't even start for this team, and you want to lock him up.
PFF's ninth-ranked guard.
Oh, listen, Steve. I'm sure
Eric Flowers is
these two are not. They're not advanced statistics guys. They do the sniff test.
I could go out and pull tractor trailers by my daggone self too. Don't mean I'm a good.
Ron Rivera looks at PFF and throws that in the trash, and he says, "This guy can't even start on my team." So I don't care what ranking he is.
He is not a dog.
That's from Tanner Austin. They're saying Wes is a dog.
He does really well when he's called upon to fill in for guys who are better than him.
All the other 31 teams,
great.
He's a Jag.
He's a Jag. Sorry, he's a Jag.
Yeah, but he is a quality depth piece for the line. Now, so this brings it. We're looking. Obviously, I think most people, and I'm getting feedback from one of you. Most of us are looking at the big names, right? The Deron Paynes, Montez Sweat, which somebody brought up. We've got Montez Sweat for 2 more seasons, so his isn't necessarily an immediate deal.
He's got to produce more too, if you ask me personally. Sorry, but hey,
you're right. He absolutely does.
Pass rushers is we've talked about this. Pass rushers are probably the second most important piece of a football team. QB being one, and your pass rushers being.
I want to make it clear:
the person who goes after the QB is your second most. Mm-hmm. And Montez Sweat has shown that when he is on his game, he absolutely is worth signing. Obviously, again, we have two.
He's not a Jag.
Us saying that he has something to prove also does not mean we don't like him. He just literally has things to prove because of where we picked him in the draft and how he is, regarded. So
yeah, me and Trevor are on the same page with a lot of these guys, except Dax Milne, of course. I mean,
I love Dax Milne, bro.
We got some more. We got some more Schweitzer love here with from Gus Bus.
We had Eric Flowers.
Be nowhere near the top 10 ratings it received the last.
We had Eric Flowers in the last 2 years and a healthy Chase Roulier, and I think we did just fine.
Chase Roulier is very, very. I think he's a very, very underrated center. Guys, all right, for the people in the chat, I just want you all to understand, I'm on Team Wes. All right, I like Wes. I think, but that's me. You guys know if you're a longtime fan of the channel, you got to understand. I also like the big guys. The people in the trenches are my kind of guys. So they picked up Trey Turner. Go ahead.
Which means Wes is not the guy.
No. Thank you, Trev. I'm speaking some truth today.
You're not.
If he's
Wes Schweitzer, you can pay Wes. You can pay him very, very little. Okay, you don't have to pay Wes Schweitzer.
Okay. Fine, but
the
stop with
same money Brandon Sheriff got.
Right, but stop with he's the 9th best guard in the league, and
get out of here.
The offensive line is the 10th best in the league because of him, and he's versatile.
It's
fine, but he doesn't even do anything.
Yeah, hello, Andrew Norwell. We got as well. Like, come on, guys.
I'm gonna call somebody
Schweitzer
out
on the line there. Go ahead.
I'm gonna call out Aaron.
Trey Turner.
Aaron Housey. I like that name, Housey. How's he doing? All right. So he's our best backup lineman. Sorry. I'm not calling you out. I thought he was saying that he was the best backup lineman in the league. And I was going to ask him, name one other backup lineman in the league without looking it up. Because, again, that's kind of how we get attached to our guys. You couldn't, nobody in this chat, in this whole chat that's lined up over here, or two Yahoos that I'm looking at, or this guy right here, can name one backup offensive lineman on any team in the NFL. We couldn't do it. So when we talk about how these guys are the best backups and all that, you got to zip it. The only reason you say that is because you know one. You know Wes Schweitzer.
Wes Schweitzer.
Right.
You know your one here. Just real briefly to complete the gag here. This is what you see when you Google Jag.
Look right over there. There's Dax Milne.
Yeah, Dax Milne. Someone had mentioned Catherine Bell, and I'm not going to turn up a chance to go look at Catherine Bell. Of course, EP's watching, so I probably earned myself
2 demerits, 2 Navy demerits.
But no, I think West would be West. So, is there anybody else? Is there anybody else on that kind of tier? And there's feedback. That you guys would is there someone from that tier that even if you guys consider him a Jag and maybe our people don't? So here's EP getting a little.
But I have a hot take. I have a hot take about a name that was in that list.
Wait till I put my headphones on. I want to hear this hot take.
And people might not like it, but it is what it is.
You can take this dollar bet here. Dollar, Wes is right guard 1 come week 1. We got Trev agreeing to it. Stoner, are you
I'll do it just for the action.
For the action?
But I mean,
I'm with you, Steve. I think that's going to happen.
It's even in question. Just kind of shows you that he's a Jag, that we're fighting over him. And
Trey Turner's taking his spot. There's no way we signed Trey Turner to that
guard.
3-year or whatever just to be a backup, especially after playing with Ron Rivera in Carolina. Come on, guys. Wes is a nice filler, but come on, get over yourselves.
Shout out Rio in the house. Check his channel out, Rambling with Rio. Everybody smash that like button for my guy. Absolutely appreciate that. Don't forget to hit subscribe as well. The Doug here talks about the versatility, keeping him off the starting line, but he can fill 3 spots in the line. So this is why
he's great.
He don't deserve an extension for that.
Let's hear this hot take from Trev.
All right, so this person I think you said has 2 years left on his deal.
Who's that?
Cam Curl.
Yeah, he's got 2 years left.
He might be a Jag on anybody on everybody else's team outside of ours too.
Yeah, that's a hot. Yeah. We can't have that. We can't have that nonsense.
We're going to go to our two.
Why not? Why not? Why wouldn't he be?
Because he makes plays.
Why wouldn't he be?
Because he makes plays.
Time out.
And
Cam Sims made a hell of a play this past year. Does he
made
anything?
1 or 2.
No.
Cam makes plays every game.
All right, but that's what I'm
game
saying
in
though.
and game out.
Is he that guy though that deserves an extension next year? I think this year he needs to for real prove. I personally think that Curl is actually good. Yes, Rio, but on another squad, is he a Jag? Be honest. When did we draft him?
I've never said this before, Trev.
I've never said it. And I've never said this take either until literally just now.
I don't know if this one's worse than your Terry McLaurin. It's not going to get signed. Hot take. That was both of these takes are awful.
I'm just saying.
I haven't said this before. This is not a take. This is just some truth here. But I haven't said this before. I watched tape on Cam Curl in his rookie year, and he is fantastic at what he does. He knows where to be. He knows how to avoid the blocks, to make the tackles. Cam Curl is a fantastic safety.
Gus Bus. Look at that right there. Where do you rate Curl among the safeties in NFC East?
I can't because, again, I could only name maybe 2 or 3 other safeties in the entire
Anthony
NFC
Harris is in
East.
Philly.
Right.
Merle with the hit here. That's slander. You're jacked for that take.
I don't even know for New York either, actually.
Right.
So Ryan, but
I just know from watching him, and I remember watching him in his rookie year, and then I watched his tape. And I never watch tape, right? I'm not one of those guys who watch. I watched his tape, and he was fantastic at everything that he did.
Yeah, unless there's some serious just
fall off slump.
Yeah. And which, to be fair, he was drafted in the 7th round, right? So, and we've seen players, and this was the kind of the worry for him last season, going into last season that we talked about here on the podcast. We've had 7th round safeties who have, kind of shined in 1 year, and people are like, oh, these guys are great. The thing was, in his second season, his sophomore season, Cam Curl was still great. He was still really good.
You think it was better his first year or second year?
I would probably maybe it's I haven't looked at the stats. I would say I was probably
first year.
I'd probably rate his first year better, but I think I wasn't expecting that out of a 7th rounder.
Right.
And he held par his second year, and that's not to say that like he didn't get worse. He just and I'm only holding his second season slightly worse because he just was super amazing as a rookie. And so if he holds par to what he did there, which I feel like he did, it's only just not amazing because we've already seen him do it. Will he take the next step? I think that's very possible. It depends on how this defense is going to play out. I do think they're going to use him more where you kind of saw Landon Collins last year, and Landon Collins was making plays, and that I think that, he is one of the best strong safeties in the game. Obviously it's a very niche group. There's only 32 of these, and I would definitely put him. I'd definitely say Cam Curl is one of the up and coming ones. Maybe not. People won't put him in his top 10, and he's probably not going to get the recognition come NFL 100 time. But I do feel like he's a more than a capable starter. He is not a jack.
Yep, agreed. Now everything's
on this team
safety?
Anywhere.
A top what safety in the league for
top
real,
16 at least? Yeah,
top half.
Top half
of the league. I'd probably agree with that. I'd say right in that area, right in the area, and that's a really good point by Aaron. And Aaron, I'm sorry I tried to call you out earlier, and I had no reason to, but that's true. That year when they were a top 3 defense or top 2, whatever they were playing all those terrible quarterbacks. Remember the week after week after week, it was just a horrible quarterback. And then last year they had to play all of the better quarterbacks, and he held his own. It wasn't Cam Curl that was chasing down these receivers, right? That was Landon Collins. That was Bobby McCain that was chasing down these receivers, not Cam Curl. He's more solid in everything that he does. I love Cam Curl, and you're not going to get me off of that stance. No way.
He is somebody who I feel like you can trust against tight ends. He's somebody who you can put in the slot. He's not gonna cover a Cooper Kupp. He's not gonna do that. But I mean, not many people were covering Cooper Kupp last year, anyways. But he is somebody. He is somebody who in that short game you can trust. And he's somebody against the run you can trust. And he's somebody who is just going to make plays and is going to be good for this team here. Going back to that question, Gus Bus fills us in here. Malik Hooker and Curse out of Dallas. Philadelphia has Anthony Harris and Tart. And the Giants have Julian Love and Xavier McKinney. Out of those, and obviously we're saying Cam Curl's the best safety we have on this team. I think that's safe to say.
Yes.
So who's our free safety this year?
Same as it was last year, Bobby McCain.
Okay.
So I'm saying that Cam Curl's the best safety we have on this team. Percy Butler, we'll see. Cam Curl against those, are you taking any of those people over Cam Curl?
I'll take Anthony Harris and maybe Xavier McKinney and maybe even Tart.
Maybe. I don't watch those guys enough to know. It's kind of like my take on backup offensive linemen. I don't know who most of them are, but I know what I got in Curl, and I like what he does. So I would take him over any of those guys. If you gave me a top 10 list of safeties, I'd probably take him over most of those guys. That's just kind of like a uneducated fan look at it. But
I'm trying to find. There we go.
List, not so
there we
much.
go.
What's?
I'm keeping Cam Curl. I'm putting on my burgundy glasses for this one, folks. That's happening.
It was just a
All
take.
right.
I didn't say how he is. I'm
That's
just saying,
happening.
dude,
Trev,
my opinion.
you're
I have a hot take.
missing out on that one.
I'll miss
Yeah.
out on. I don't
Got
care.
the burgundy
what I'm here
glasses on
for.
for that. I'm taking Cam Curl over
I'm here
all of
to
them.
ask the tough questions.
All of
I'm
them
here
guys.
to start
That's
the smoke.
good.
That's what I'm here for.
So have you guys seen? We talking about who is up next to get the bag, but who got the bag? Has anybody seen anything out there where anybody has said this was not a good deal for Terry McLaurin?
No.
Or
Surprisingly, there's been a couple people, but I think they're just being contrarian just for the sake of being contrarian.
Okay, because nobody, I haven't seen anything.
I'm not gonna lie. Before the statement came out making him the top whatever pay wide receiver, I was a little like $71 million. That's it. And then I kept reading. I was like, oh, it makes him like the top 5, 7, 10. Okay,
Yeah,
then that's
'cause
fine.
it's only 3 years.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, he got paid more than Cooper Kupp did.
The signing bonus is more.
But not the
the
overall.
3 years. No, he was Cooper Kupp. Oh,
80
sorry,
million.
no, Cooper Kupp was 80 million. Yeah, so he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You're right. Never mind. Sorry, he got paid in the ballpark of Cooper Kupp. Right.
Yeah,
so
that's
Cooper
fine.
Kupp was 3 years, 8 million, and
I think
3 years,
Cooper
$71
was-
million. Those are in line.
Yeah.
So that was to me very interesting because you got a guy who Cooper Kupp were a lot of even the Commanders fans were saying was just light years ahead of Terry McLaurin. But there's been some just absolutely ridiculous stats that have come out with the Terry McLaurin. I'm going to see if I can't pull up the one here. Real
Cooper
quick.
is that, but the Rams have a lot of money, and Cooper is probably also a guy like, look, yo, I don't need a lot of money because we still need another wide receiver. We still need this and that or whatever. So just give me like whatever you think. He probably didn't demand a lot, so that's probably why it's 80 million because it's Cooper Kupp. You know what I mean? And the Rams have buku money. The Rams have. I mean, look, they gave Aaron Donald.
Well, everybody's got
So
the
they
same amount of
obviously-
money. What do you mean they got a lot of money? They have the same amount of money as
They do.
Washington has, right?
So yeah, command this with the actual AAV stats here. So what I'm saying is they're saying ballpark 80 million for 3, 71 year. That's to me, that 3 million a year difference AAV. That's really in the same ballpark, and a lot of people were putting him over Cooper Kupp, over Terry McLaurin. You don't like what, Stoner?
I don't like AAV.
I don't even.
I don't like
that
stat because they're using non-guaranteed money. Is that right? They're talking about the 3 years, 71 million. Is that where the 23.67 comes from?
Pretty sure that's where.
I mean, the only thing you should ever look at is the guaranteed money that they're going to get.
53.
I think that's the most important part. So where do they stand in the guaranteed money? Where does he stand in there? He's I was right around again. Right after AJ
the 75% was actually pretty significant. Shout out Merle here with the donation here. We appreciate that. Wentz Terry combo will be top 5 this year.
Is that the $2? Is that like a bet? Because I'll take that bet.
No,
that's not a bet. Oh, okay.
That's a donation. That's a donation.
Top 10.
That's pretty. That's pretty bullish.
Yeah, I think honestly, Gus Bus asks here: can we spread out Terry's bonus to this year and a void year, so that his AAV is even lower? There's the actual full, yet, right? The full contract hasn't come out. So these are all speculations on our part. I'm very interested in seeing what the actual deal is. I don't think they need to put too much into this year because they could potentially make a few more signings. They do have the money to do it. And that's one of the reasons why we were asking who's next, because you could potentially get a guy like Deron Payne. Here's the stats I'm going to read you from Warren Sharp. If you haven't seen these are pretty
I love Warren Sharp, by the way. I don't like stats, right? I'm the sniff test guy, right? Warren Sharp is really good because he breaks it down. He doesn't do all these like weird percentages and weird if it was within 2 feet of him and whether he got his finger on it, what the percentages of that. He does like real stats.
What?
Well, one of those
what
is
he's going to show here. What he's going to show these stats.
Terry McLaurin in his career has ran 1,629 routes, was targeted only 357 of those, and only 62% of those were actually catchable. So just amazing.
Worst.
Yeah, which is somebody had did the math here, and it pretty much meant that he has caught every single pass that has come his way that was considered catchable. just accidentally,
Right.
just absolutely just amazing there.
Now, as good as
Trey Wingo mentions that there was 8 different QBs throwing to him during this time. And some of those QBs, this isn't exhaustive here. 123 attempts were from Taylor Heineke, 98 attempts from Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace, 52 attempts from Alex Smith, may his daughter be healthy, 41 attempts from Case Keenum, 31 from Kyle Allen, 7 from Colt McCoy, 4 from Garrett Gilbert, and 1 attempt from Logan Thomas.
Yeah.
And the fact that this man has averaged 1,000 yards with these attempts being thrown to him, you gotta admit this is just a good deal, and I think it's a win-win deal for Washington. And he caught 2 for 51 yards. Shout out to George Carmi there with hitting that one.
Bring Gigi back, camp body, baby.
Yeah, but you know what? Let's not get carried away. Also with Carson Wentz as his quarterback. Carson Wentz's biggest liability is his accuracy.
Yeah, and that's the stat Gus Bus is.
Well, neither was Taylor Heineke.
I think Taylor Heineke was a little bit more accurate. He couldn't get it there in time, and he couldn't get it there with zip, and that's where it'll help. But accuracy, no. Carson Wentz, we're gonna have games where he's gonna be like 14 of 32. But he's going to have like 260 yards because he hit on a couple of big plays to Terry or Jahan Dotson or whatever, right? And he's going to have like 2 touchdowns and a pick. But he's going to be under 50% in his completion percentage. You're going to have a lot of those games.
Yeah,
I think.
And the stat that Warren Sharp had for that one, I haven't brought it up, but I remember it from earlier when I happened to be perusing and saw this. But he is the worst completion percentage, minimum 600 attempts over the last 2 seasons.
Oh, I hate all of these daggone stats like that. Just play ball, bro. I'm so sick of like.
He also has the worst stat, or he has the worst accuracy under 5 yards. You know, all these little dump offs that Washington has done over the last couple of years. He's the worst accuracy on those. He just needs to throw the ball downfield.
Merle hitting us again with $5. Again, we appreciate you there for that one. The real concern is at linebacker. They neglected that position in the draft, which we agree, and they may have to turn a safety into a linebacker. We're hearing a lot of talk about that. Is that something that you guys are thinking is going to happen with the safety into a linebacker? Or is this
going to be?
Yeah. That's a big question there is we're actually seeing Forster and we're seeing Khalil Hudson. These are the guys who are most mentioned. Obviously Hudson's more of a tweener. Is that something, this is why Cole Holcomb might get signed, but that's why I'm saying they don't need to change Terry's deal either, right? They can sign a linebacker here. There's still several on the market. Not exciting names, they're maybe not Miracle Whip as Trev loves to call him.
That's him. A Miracle Whip. David
he can't cover anything.
But they're at least going to be enough to fill, and we'll see. I think if our interior linemen could do their job this year, disrupting, taking care of the run stuff, I think that they will make the linebackers' job easier. I also think Jamin Davis on the outside is going to be a lot better than he was.
Why can't we just go out and get an established veteran instead of trying all these experiments with the drafts that we get? I'm so sick of that.
That's a good question.
Just go get a vet. I know you love versatility, but maybe if you got a vet that's already versatile and has some, up under his belt, cool. But like we're drafting these safeties that played 20 snaps at the Buffalo nickel spot in college, and we just look at that tape and like, oh, they can do it. It doesn't automatically translate like that. Like, I'm so sick of these experiments.
Well, look, it's going to be a big year for this defense in terms
How do we know that? On paper, we said that last year.
I mean, it's going to be a big year in terms of the evaluation on whether or not they can be a good defense. It's going to be big in terms of Jack Del Rio's job. And if this defense can play anywhere close to average, then this team obviously has a chance. The offense is probably not going to be what holds them back if they if they don't succeed. It's going to be the defense. So
we sang
it's
the
big.
same song last year, bro. Especially because after the first year with that defense, we said the defense is going to be better, and the offense could be a little better with Taylor's arm. And now look what happens. Just go get you a vet, man, because we let Derek Forrest and Khalil Hudson fill in for Cam Curl if he needs a breather or something like whatever.
They them throw play a lot of 3 safeties out there, so I do think you're going to see a lot of Percy Butler, Cam Curl,
but don't convert him into
Bobby
a linebacker. Like
I don't think you have to. This team only ran the 2 linebackers, or only ran a 3 linebacker set. Rather, I think it was around 25% of the snaps.
Yeah.
So they used
that.
How'd that work out?
Yeah,
not nearly as good. They also loved that 5 defensive linemen, and that didn't work out well either.
Yeah, exactly. So let's not do what we did last year. Let's not say, hey, well, we did it last year. Well, you sucked last year on defense. Do something different.
Play to your players' skills and tandems. That's what you drafted them for. You didn't draft them like, okay, well, I know you play this in college, but here you're going to play this, and this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
Davis is not going to get cut. They're going to play him.
Nah, it's him and Holcomb at the 5. If we do 5-2, him and Holcomb are the linebackers.
And I don't see Collins being brought back in. That's not going to happen. I think that at safety,
he ain't coming back playing for Del Rio after what he just said. He definitely ain't coming back now.
Has anybody? This is a real question. Has any player who played, like, say, for a few years with one team, got cut or got traded? Right? Have they ever come back to an original team and excelled in any sport? Has that ever happened?
Michael Jordan.
Well, he didn't get cut or get traded. He retired. I'm talking about like the team said, we don't want you. We're going to trade you. And then they come back on their own later, and then they excelled. Right? People say that. Let's bring
LeBron James.
Back. He didn't get cut. He
chose to go elsewhere.
Like where everyone was wanting to bring John Wall back. They got rid of John Wall because they didn't want John Wall anymore. He's not going to come back and be the old John Wall. We got to stop with this. We got rid of Landon Collins for a reason.
You have to look that stat up because I'm pretty sure there probably is a.
There might be somebody. If you can figure that out in the chat for us, if you can name a person, I appreciate that. It's been a Kendall Fuller. Actually, they did. That's a great one. Actually, Aaron Howes with the good call there. Kendall Fuller traded to Kansas City, came back, and I would say he's had a couple decent seasons here.
He's been pretty.
Excel might be a bit of a stretch, but he's had a couple good seasons.
I didn't mean like they're gonna like be a Pro Bowler, but they've been a contributor. And you're right. Okay, there's one. Yeah. Kendall Fuller. That's a good one.
There we go. I think that's an absolutely great one there. We've had a lot of conversation in the chat there, so I'm sorry if I missed you with the with your expectations for Terry McLaurin. I know that we had quite a few on our video chat there, but I think we're ready to move it on to the cool down. So stick with us as we have some grab bag, Stoner's grab bag, come up here on the cool down.
A lot of fun.
Hey.
Lots of good discussion happened there in the game. Make sure if you're one of our audio listeners, you check out that portion as well. Welcome to the cool down, though. It is a Stoner grab bag. He's been really enjoying these kind of hodgepodge, and he asked us today whether or not we wanted to know the topics or not. And I responded with, I think Trev likes to go in raw.
Do you have that on your thing? Oh no,
yeah.
that's not quite the rim shot, but
this is probably more appropriate there.
Yeah. All right, let's get right to it. Let's get a nice
this is
transition.
one you're looking for.
Yeah, that one. There you go. All right,
we'll get there.
All right, I'm gonna show. So I'm gonna do this little grab bag. Right, you guys just give me a real quick, your reaction to it. Okay.
Good right. Terry prediction.
Here's the first one. All right. Do you guys know who this is? Take the what you call it off there. Sorry. Yeah, thank you. Do you know who that is?
It's Jaden.
Okay, you're cheating, but do you know who that is?
I have no clue.
I had to name it that way, knowing Jaden you can see it. because I wouldn't
Jaden
remember
Ivey?
his name. No, his name is Jaden Rashada.
Okay.
Okay. Jaden Rashada was going to go to the University of Florida and play quarterback. He's a four-star, a four-star recruit. Four-star, not five-star, four-star.
Okay.
They offered him $11 million in NIL deals.
Okay.
And he turned it down to go to Miami for about $9.5 million. Okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's a four-star recruit.
Mm-hmm.
He's the 7th ranked quarterback in his class.
Okay.
What in the hell is going on with these NILs?
Teams are desperate, and if they think it's no different than I think the NFL.
He went to Florida offered him
$11 million to Florida.
Time out. You said he was going to Florida for $11 million, and he took $9.5 million to go to Miami.
He took a little bit less. The point is, they're offering tens of millions of dollars to a four-star recruit.
About time. Yeah. About time.
I mean, is that not crazy?
Well, again,
tell me Arch Manning only got like $2 million to go to Texas.
No, he didn't get $2 million. He got like $20 million, didn't he? He got like
they haven't released.
They broke the bank for him.
That much.
They broke the bank for that. Now,
that's what they should.
QBs, we know, and that is most important position. And you're trying to even if it's only a 4-star recruit, there's plenty of 4-star recruits that go on to do pretty dang on well.
Absolutely.
And so you're trying. There's only so many of these go around. Okay, and just like the NFL draft, you want to put yourself in a position to get one of these that you might be able to hit on. And now teams have NIL. Now taking $2 million less to be in Miami
that has to do with the program. That's my opinion.
Yeah, probably. But hey,
SEC versus the ACC?
You'll have better exposure in the ACC because ACC don't produce quarterbacks like that. Sorry, shout out Lamar Jackson, Kenny Pickett. That's about it. And then maybe who's the coach for Florida right now?
They got the coach who was at Memphis. I can't even think of his name.
Over Mario Cristobal from Oregon. I'm going to Miami.
Yeah, okay. But either way, I was just God bless you, Jaden Rashad, a 4-star recruit who got 11 or got $9.5 million.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good for you.
Actually, I think that makes him earn.
Well, they're about to bring back college football
this year
video games
than,
too.
Yeah, well, they needed to, and that's one of the reasons why NIL has worked out. Mm-hmm. So if you love the college football game, then you can thank NILs for that. The $9 million, I think, is actually more than some of the starters playing. Right, I mean, that's more than Joey Burrow is going to make salary wise this season.
Yeah, right.
So
getting a lot more in endorsements, but hey,
God bless him. He's definitely going to get more money overall. Joey Burrow will, but it is kind of interesting how that's going to play out. And of course, those deals, might be very similar. They might not be all guaranteed. It might just be, it's different. I will say, I really, really hope for any of these 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds that are being offered these millions of dollars, get yourself a financial advisor.
Sure.
You are not
ball out. Ball out.
I'm not saying you can't ball out. I'm not saying you can't ball out. I'm just saying you are not smart enough to handle $9 million. I don't know you personally, but I'm just saying you're probably not, maybe not smart enough. Smart enough is probably harsh. You're not responsible enough at 17 or 18 years old.
Why wouldn't they? If they're responsible enough to learn a playbook for a 5-star college that, like Ohio State for Miami, then why can't they take care of their money?
Trev, how many days would it take you to spend through $9 million when you were 17 years old?
$9 million, probably a lot. Because at 17, what could you? I mean, well, in this day and age, maybe not, but like more than at least. Come on, bro, ball out. I'd save some.
All right, here's the next one.
I give some to my mama. For sure. Shout out.
There you go. Which is what happens a lot, right? People buy their parents buy their mama the big old house she always wanted. Property taxes, buddy. That's going to get you.
AKA Nathan is saying he'll be your financial advisor. That's what he was just campaigning.
I am not an authorized financial advisor. I've had to say that plenty of times in my career.
All right. Do you all know the name Carson Pickett?
Is that Kenny Pickett's little brother?
I imagine.
Not. I'm going to
Is
show
it
you a photo of Carson Pickett and see if this helps.
Is that Carson Wentz and Kenny Pickett combined?
It is not.
You sure?
Gus Bus
Carson
doesn't
Pickett.
make any difference between an influencer.
Oh, I should have. Oh, duh. She is the
And the
first
significant.
woman to have a limb deficiency to play in a international soccer game or CONCACAF or whatever that they're playing for.
To make the women's national team. Yep.
Yes.
Yep, but that was pretty awesome.
That was dope.
Yep. The first one,
Yes.
I think it's called limb difference.
Yeah, limb difference.
That's the proper term nowadays.
There we
So
go.
that was really awesome. She played last night, started and played most of the game, I believe, about 80 minutes, I believe.
They had an hour
U.S.
weather
women's
delay.
national team. So shout out to Carson
Shout out
Pickett.
to her.
I thought that was pretty awesome.
I wonder if she is related to Kenny.
Probably not. So Gus Bus, what makes them that much different from a 17-year-old YouTube influencer? He gets paid. I'm not telling any one of these kids not to get that money.
Yeah,
Get that
It's
money.
just they're
Whichever
probably not
way.
responsible for it.
I'm just saying, find your
that's
way to
on
be
them.
responsible with it. And I'm not, by the way, Trev, ball out by all means. You have $9 million. I realize gas prices are pretty high right now, and you
They
might
can be
have to spend $1 million on gas alone.
Yeah, no joke.
But you can ball out and you can provide for your future. That's generational wealth for a lot of people. Okay.
Yeah,
and I did the math, and obviously again, cost of living is going up there, but it only takes like $14 million. If you spend $1,000 a day, okay, $1,000 a day, it will take you 40 years to burn through $14 million. So he has 9 million, right? Or these YouTube influencers get these 20 million. You can absolutely, make that last, have fun, but do trips, buy ball out and get a table service at Sky Bar. Absolutely do those things. Just also make sure that you're investing in your future. Do that.
For sure.
That's all I'm asking. But that's 37-year-old Nathan Perry, who is
dad speaking on right now, everybody.
The dad speak is on. That's all I'm saying. But definitely, ball out, get that table service. Stoner, you got any more on that grab bag?
Yep, a couple more.
Oh yeah,
Let's hit it.
Who you got?
You keep me working on the branch thing.
Who you got?
For our audio listeners here, Stoner has shown the ESPN ringside tweet where Adrian Peterson and Le'Veon Bell have signed contracts for a heavyweight boxing exhibition on July 30th at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. By the way, horrible arena name. Sources tell Mike Coppinger, Adrian Peterson to box Le'Veon Bell. Peterson and Bell will meet on the undercard of Social Gloves 2, an event promoted by YouTube star Austin McBroom. McBroom takes on fellow YouTuber Ann Essen Gibb in the main card.
Yeah, we don't care about that. Peterson or Bell? Who you got?
Peterson.
Really?
Not a question.
I'm going Le'Veon Bell.
I'm going Le'Veon Bell.
Okay.
All right.
I'll bet you $1.
That's
we
Oklahoma
can definitely
bias.
do that.
That's Oklahoma bias. That's all that is.
That's
totally Oklahoma bias. Okay. So we were just talking a little bit about money and spending your money wisely and inflation and all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I like
on a sports podcast. Thanks, everybody.
I like me some potato chips, right?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It shows, right? I like me some potato chips, right?
Yeah.
Okay. My neighbor a couple years ago brought over some chips that he loves. He's a chips guy too. And it was from Costco. You guys ever go to Costco? Are you guys Costco shoppers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever
We
been.
don't have one around here in Annapolis. It's a bit of a distance. So Sam's Club.
I've
is
been
what
there
we have
once or
to do.
twice.
So he brought-
Sam's is my jam. Go ahead.
He brought over these chips called Himalayan sea salt kettle chips. Okay? I don't know if you
Kettle
ever-
chips are the best.
Oh, they are fantastic, right?
Mhm.
What I want to show you here is I was like, you know what? I haven't had those in a while, but I don't want to keep asking my neighbor because I don't go to Costco, and I guess he does. I don't want to
I
keep
got a
asking.
commander's grab bag for our listeners here soon, so stick with us on that one.
Right. All right. So
No, we're going to
looked
lose
it
a couple
up.
people.
Wait.
Chips. We're talking chips. No, we're
Keep
not.
going,
looked it up.
Sutter. What about it? Okay.
I looked it up, and I wanted to
Yes.
get some myself instead of having to rely on my neighbor all the time.
Yeah.
This is what I found on Walmart, right? For a bag of chips. $29 for a bag of potato chips.
Oh, those are Kirkland's. No wonder.
Kirkland signature.
When I was getting them from my neighbor, I was giving him $5 because that's how much they cost a couple of years ago. They're $29 now.
Empty them
What
pockets,
is going
Neil.
on in this country?
Do you
That's
love
what the
potato
Neil's
chips
for.
that much? I don't love potato chips.
I mean,
that
I
much.
am not buying those. Are you crazy?
I bet
I'm not paying $29 for a bag of chips.
He got a bag right now.
Are you insane? Who's going to pay
Doug
$29?
says find the local
Find the
Charles
local
chip truck. Gus
Doug's
Bus
from
with
up north,
the
isn't it?
tasty Rappers chips in 7-Eleven.
Isn't Charles Chips a northern thing, by the way, or a Midwestern thing? Doug
I
must
don't
be
know.
from
What's
up
the
there.
next
Anyway,
grab
Doug
bag?
will have to listen.
that was it. I guess nobody likes my grab bag. They want to do a Commander's grab bag. But
This one I think is
I like
going
I
to
have
be
a
pretty
couple of
fun
cool
here.
ones, but nobody likes it.
How much?
I like
you
them.
know, well, we can continue on those.
It's
I'm just
probably
wanting
the
to.
same one. I'm just asking the same.
Is it?
Yeah, 'cause
Is
we
it
talked
going
about
to be okay? So then it would be Super Bowl odds.
No, it wasn't
So odds to
Oh,
win the
I knew
Super
this was
Bowl.
coming.
Commanders in at plus 7,000. Stoner, let's if we put down $3 on that, what's that guess?
Well, $100 will give you 7,000, obviously. So 10% of that, so that would be 700. I don't know, a couple $100.
Yeah.
If you put $3 on it, it would win you a couple $100.
All right. So we should do that then, right?
Nah.
Sure. why
Trev,
not?
the king of making some awful parlays, is telling me we don't put $3 down on plus that 7,000 for the Commanders. Probably not likely to hit, but it's $3.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Is there any of these that are surefire winners that you feel like if you'd put $5 down on, $10 down on?
Rams.
I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, plus
Rams.
650 for the Bills.
Shout out to
who
the
have
Command This
best.
podcast with a donation. Appreciate it. Put the $10 or the $9.99 towards
still 20
Stoner's
short.
Himalayan chip find. Signing off,
Appreciate
fellas.
you.
Make sure you go out to the Command This podcast and subscribe to that. Great group of gents out there. Even if one of them happens to be a Knicks fan, we can forgive him for that.
Even 650.
Don't forgive
for
him.
the
Laugh
Bills.
at him. I wouldn't tell nobody I was a Knicks fan.
Even 600 plus 650 is still a very
Yeah.
great value with the bet like that.
I do Rams, Bucks just because of Tom Brady, and then the Broncos I would do.
And how much are you
And the
putting down?
Chargers, $3. I'm not doing anything on us. I know better than that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd do it just for the sweat. So if I
Are
put
there
100
any-
bucks
For the
down,
Montez sweat?
Yeah, for the Montez sweat.
Are there any teams ahead of Washington here that are surprising to you that you feel like are being overvalued?
The Dolphins,
Nope.
the Titans.
Nope.
They don't have nobody. The Browns?
Wait, are the Browns ahead of them? Well,
Yeah.
Deshaun,
Browns are
that's-
plus 2,000.
That's got the
Yeah,
Deshaun factor. I guess.
That's yeah.
Dallas?
There's going to be a bunch of people who are going to take the Browns just banking on Deshaun Watson being able to improve.
Honestly, though, the
I wouldn't
Dolphins,
put.
the Dolphins kind of messes me up a little bit.
I mean, they really
Dolphins
improved
seems a
the
bit
team,
surprising.
man. They
Tyreek
just got
Hill
a
ain't
whole bunch
that.
of speed.
Yeah, they do. Tyreek Hill just signed there. That's not.
But
It's pretty
Jalen
interesting.
Waddle, Tyreek Hill. Who's the running
who's
back
on their
that they got?
defense?
The guy from San Francisco.
Not quite signing off just yet because Steve came back. Bengals at plus 2,200 is a good
Yeah.
one.
Wait, 2,200 for the Bengals? Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
that's
don't
a good
think I don't think they even get close this year.
They're tied with the Colts. That's
Yeah, that's
Matt
still- that's
Ryan
a
and the
little
Colts at
disrespectful.
2,200. That's
That's what I'm saying. I don't think the Bengals get there this year. I think it's a slumpy year for the Bengals.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, they
highest
just
in the
been to
NFC
Super Bowl.
East here is at plus 1,800. That's the Cowboys. Eagles coming in at plus 2,800. Giants behind Washington by 1,000. They're at plus 8,000. Well, of course, Washington at plus 7,000. I think that $3 is going to be pretty good on the Commanders. I mean,
Are we going to put?
doesn't pan
Is that
out.
what you're telling me to do? That is that what you're telling
We're
me to
gonna-
do?
if
Put
you
a futures
can,
bet.
if you
$3
can,
on
absolutely
Commanders
put a
to win
futures
the
bet
Super
bet
Bowl.
on that one. Gus Bus saying that Washington's better than Pittsburgh. When's the last time that's happened?
When we beat them our NFC championship when we went 7-9 and they were 11-0. We gave them their first loss. That's when we became better than Pittsburgh.
That was probably the decline. Actually, you can say the Washington football team was the beginning of the end for the Pittsburgh Steelers, as they've not been the same team since that's loss. So that's definitely one. We got to go for the Lions on Dougford. Thanks, Uptown Dre, for joining us today. Appreciate everyone in the chat right now. All right, let's go back to Stoner's grab bag.
Oh, mine. Call it a grab bag again?
Because it's just like some random stuff he's throwing together.
Yeah. Okay, in a bag.
Stoner, and I appreciate some feedback on this because this is something that Stoner absolutely loves. And if you're an audio listener, make sure you head out to any of our channels and let us know this. Stoner really loves the grab bag, and he loves talking about things that are not necessarily sports. If that's something you enjoy, I need to know that as one of the content producers here. So that way I don't steer us away from that content, because I'll be honest, sometimes I see some lower numbers for some of these oddball stuff we end up doing. And so, I want to keep us on target, and again, bringing fresh content everywhere. Obviously if we had a 4-hour show, a radio show, we would have a lot of time to do some BS stuff, because 4 hours for sports is a lot every single day. But we provide you a flagship program, usually about an hour. We're at an hour and 20 minutes right now. So let us know. What do you enjoy? What do you want to see from us on Ref the District? Make sure you hit us up in the comment section and let us know. What do you got here for us, Stoner?
All right, last one. Chase Daniel will surpass $41 million in earnings this year, which ranks 62nd all-time in NFL quarterback earnings. And he's only started 5 games in his 13 years. And
averaged 6.5 yards an attempt.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. All you got to do is hold the clipboard, play, practice quite a bit, help your starter out here and there, go in there once in a while, once a year maybe, and play, get beat up a little bit. Beautiful. $41 million.
And shout out to him for being on the teams that don't require him to play that much. That means they've had.
I think that's part of it, right? Is signing with the teams where he knows he's going to be a backup. This is what Warren Sharp says, an absolute backup QB legend. He really is. It takes. This is where Taylor Heineke is. I think that Taylor Heineke's, this is his goal, right? This is what his goal should be. But the thing is when you get thrust into a starting position and you don't look the part, you're less likely to get that backup position. But Chase Daniel has, he's kind of like Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy is another one who's just kind of stuck around a little while because he plays well enough in those roles. People keep signing him to teams. But if you can, and Chase Daniel's been really good here, only playing 5 games in 13 years, shows enough shows enough in practice to stick around, and they're paying him millions of dollars. That's generational wealth we were talking about right there.
Granddad, can you put your tape on from when you played? Sure. You got 30 minutes.
Right. I'll show you every play.
Every single
snap, baby.
Yeah.
13 years.
So again, just like
what's up, Kamani?
All these other folks who are getting that bag, good
Shout
for
out Chase Daniel.
More power to you. We are never going to really fault. Even Bradley Beal, to bring this full circle, we're not going to fault somebody for chasing the money. Okay?
Chase, you want to go in? Nah, I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah. Get your money. Everybody eats. Make sure you're checking out all those other content creators that jumped in. Cool. We appreciate those. We appreciate the donations. We do, again, try to bring you the best content we can here for DC sports, especially your Washington Commanders here on our Wednesday flagship program. Make sure that you've liked this video and subscribe to our channel for more great content. Like I said, we're going to be talking about the Washington Wizards more in depth. You'll see that video come out later this week. We stream live every Wednesday on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We appreciate all the people who support us on those channels as well. We are sponsored by, as Trevor's pointing out,
I'm pointing to DC, subscribe. I'm pointing to
Yeah,
subscribe.
point
Oh.
to subscribe. Well, it's also DC Sports King. You want to make sure that you subscribe to their newsletter. We're creating content for them now as well, and we're sponsored by Pacers Running and, of course, Skybar. Check out Trev in person. That is opening up this weekend, so if you can make
Yes,
it down
sir.
to Lexington, you
If
can
you
get there for opening weekend, 4th of July. Have some fun. Be safe. Enjoy your freedom here in the United States. Those freedoms that some of us might not have as much, but we're not going to get political here on this show. We've already
What
kind of-
the?
kind of
That took a
already
weird-
gone
that
off
took
the
a weird
rails a little bit. And hey, you know what? Until next time,
Oh my gosh.
be a fan.
We love Washington, and we some die hard fans. Yeah, we are. And you know we keep it on 10. Let's talk about the offense. 1, 2, 3, let's go. And they gifted. We are